Nearly 5 months after Trump supporters stormed the Capitol and threatened to hang Mike Pence, the former vice president broke his silence on the topic tonight. Here's what he finally had to say.
January 6th was a dark day in the history of the United States Capitol. And that same day, we reconvened the Congress and did our duty under the Constitution and the laws of the United States. You know, President Trump and I have spoken many times since we left office. And I don't know if we'll ever see eye to eye on that day. But I will always be proud of what we accomplished for the American people over the last 4 years. And I will not allow Democrats or their allies in the media to use one tragic day to discredit the aspirations of millions of Americans.
Let's not forget, while the Capitol siege was underway and Mike Pence was being rushed from the building by the Secret Service, the former president was calling him a coward for doing that constitutional duty he now talks about. No worry, Mike Pence is perfectly willing to be the conductor of the Trump train to this day. Michael, I have to confess, I've been looking forward to this. There is nothing quite like Mike Pence when he puts on his pious face and, hang Mike Pence, sure. I don't think we'll ever see eye to eye on the events of that day. This was his chance to draw a little distance with Trump, but no, he's just a boy standing in front of New Hampshire asking them to love him.
Oh, that is so well put. That is so. He's just a boy standing next to a man. So if you won't see eye to eye. So tell us what you see differently than Trump about January 6th. Now I'm curious. Okay, you won't see eye to eye on January 6th. So what do you see? What do you think happened on that day? What do these images say to you? You were being hustled out to an undisclosed location because you were under direct threat. So what do you see from that day? That's what I want to know. And it's very clear. You do the quick pivot off of we won't see the eye to eye, but we won't let, anyone discredit, the events of that tragic day, discredit the work and the efforts of our administration. Dude, really? It actually is the culmination of the crap that was flowing out of the administration, certainly from the last 6 or 8 months about the elections. So how do you now look us in the eye and go tell us, oh, well, the president and I have a disagreement about the day, but we stand shoulder to shoulder on everything else? It is fundamental that day to what happens next in this country. And that, I think, was just kind of a shortcoming for the vice president to sort of approach it that way.
Yeah, if it wasn't fundamental, it'll do till fundamental gets here. Hey, David, I got one for you. This is from The Atlantic. Republicans are not blocking a bipartisan January 6th commission because they fear Trump or because they want to move on from 2020. They're blocking a January 6th commission because they agree with the underlying ideological claim of the rioters, which is that Democratic electoral victories should not be recognized. David, a general question. It is about your party. It's about members of your party. Would you like to see a little more urgency, a little more attitude and anger these days?
Yeah, Brian, because it's all on the line. Listen, we need to pass an infrastructure bill. We have crumbling roads and bridges, but our democracy is crumbling. It's teetering on the edge. I think there is a lot of energy in Washington amongst elected officials, amongst activists, but this is the most important question, not just of 2021 or Joe Biden's first term, but one of the most important moments in American history. So first of all, it's a remarkable Pence. It's like he's saying, well, Donald Trump and I didn't see eye to eye on the fact that he instigated an assassination attempt against me. It's an unbelievable thing to say. But yes, what we're seeing all around the country and in Washington is most of the Republican Party, with some notable exceptions, but most of them getting comfortable with the idea that if they retain power, they win back the House, that the Democrats could win 400 electoral votes. And there's going to be a lot of Republicans who say that election should not be certified. So, you only have to be a casual student of history to understand great powers, great empires don't last forever. And that's kind of where we are. This is as serious as anything we've seen in this country. And I think you're exactly right. I think that's they're hiding behind Trump in a way to achieve this ultimate aim, which is Democratic election victories should not count. And I think that's where we are in America. And so as important as it is, tax rates and infrastructure, immigration reform, these are all critically important. And I hope each of them gets done. The most important issue now facing the country and politicians in Washington, Democratic politicians, is saving this democracy. And Senator Sinema, I'm glad she won her race, back in 2018, but said today the filibuster is there to preserve democracy. But if we're left with a choice between saving the filibuster and ending democracy, let's just turn the lights out right now, because that's where we're headed.